to make sure that this is all working.
Well, Johnny?
Yes. Yeah, is Morgan here?
No. She'll be here at the last minute.
All right, do you prefer this one? I think this is the one you usually use, right?
Oh, I don't care.
Okay.
Give me the hardest one to use. Do I have to have the furry thing? Do I have to have the little furry thing?
It helps.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't know if you noticed last week, but when you would look down to talk, it would pop in the microphone. So this is going to keep it from.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't memorize my talk.
happy to welcome you here today, both everyone here in front of me and out there in the internet world. And a special hello to my friends Karen and Ben in Cape Town. So whether you're in this room or out there, we're glad you've joined us to celebrate the truth that there is a power for good in the universe, greater than we are, and we can use it. And so keeping this in mind, I'd like to invite you just to relax, maybe close your eyes if you like, and I'll read an opening spiritual mind treatment by Reverend Wyona Wilson from Phoenix, Arizona. There is one life, omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent, yet personal to all who seek communion with it. In the sacred silence of my soul, I open to the wisdom and clarity of the beloved presence, drawing strength and understanding as I move with ease, confidence, and grace through life. Regardless of any circumstances or event in my personal world or in the global community that portends change, disruption, or loss, I remain steadfast in the One. I trust the integrity of my inner communication with Spirit, and I rely on the perfect operation of divine love through law to manifest order, peace, and well-being in every aspect of my life and in the life of all. I release this treatment with love, gratitude, confidence, and embodiment of the One as my eternal companion, and so it is. And now I'd like to turn things over to our musician, Tim Dismang. This is our group song. Please stand.
Okay, since it was Love Day yesterday, we'll have a little Elvis here. Do a little upbeat. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Here we go, like a river flows, like a river flows, surely to the sea. Darling, so it goes, some things are meant to be. Here we go. So take my hand, take my whole life too. For I can't help falling in love with you. One more time. For I can't help falling in love.
It's a good thing I realized I shouldn't be singing with my mic on. I saved you guys. And now please look inside your program. Does everyone have a program? And the group reading, we'll read it together. There is one life, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love and perfect intelligence. And so it is. So, happy day after Valentine's Day. It was a lovely day, lovely weather, and just a wonderful holiday. A holiday for love, celebrating love. A little interruption in pages there. Sorry about that. And now we have our candle lighting. And we light these candles in celebration and recognition of some of the amazing aspects in this thing called life. We first light a candle for life, that which lives in and through each of us and everything. There is only one life. That life is Spirit's life, and that life is our life now. Please affirm with me, I am life. And now we light a candle for love, the unifying, harmonizing force of the universe. We each are points of love within the heart of Spirit. Please affirm with me, I am love. And we light a candle for light. We each radiate the light, the intelligence of Spirit, wherever we are. Please affirm with me, I am light. And we light a candle for beauty. We're made in the likeness and image of Spirit. We each express the beauty of Spirit's perfection as our perfection now. Please affirm with me, I am beauty. And we light a candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of Spirit and the true essence of each of us. We each bring joy to the world. Please affirm with me, I am joy. We light a candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. Please affirm with me, I am peace. And finally, I invite you to take a moment to become aware of your own inner light that is always shining within as we each honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles which are ours to rely upon always. And now it's time to turn it over to Tim for another song, and then we'll hear from Reverend Kate.
Fools rush in where one way too fear to tread, and so I come to you, my love, my heart above my head. Though I see a danger there, if there's a chance for love, then I don't care. Whoa, 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 fools rush in where wise men never go, and wise men never fall in love. So how are they to know? When we met, I felt my life begin. So open up your heart and let this fool rush in. danger there. If there's a chance for love, then I don't care. Whoa, 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 rushing where wise men never go, and wise men never fall in love. So how are they to know? When we met, I felt my life begin. So open up your heart and let this fool rush in. Rush in. Let this fool rush in. Oh, rush in.
Tim, so a few of you came for our earlier meditation in which we did a visualization of being two people, the person watching and the person dancing in the ocean. And when I was listening to you, I was like, whoa, Tim is like many people singing. It's amazing how what modern technology and musical talent can do. Yeah, your new toy, right. Well, we like toys, don't we? It's good to have fun. So, happy day after Valentine's Day. And it was a beautiful day. And I want to thank Morgan for starting us off. And I know she ran a little teeny bit late, but we don't mind because she also brought our refreshments. So it's all good. So Valentine's Day is a really nice holiday, although if you think about it, it's like, why do we even need a holiday to celebrate love? Love should be on our minds every day of the year. And now that it's over, what should we be thinking about love? Does it really even matter? You know, the title of my talk today, what's love got to do with it? Obviously, maybe you know it's taken from a Tina Turner song, which I like the song. It's interesting because I listened to it to just make sure it was okay to use the title, because some songs, you know. And the thing about it is that song, you can take it for whatever mood you're in. It can be a super happy song. It could be a sad song. It's kind of like all good poetry. It means what you need it to mean at that time. But whatever she meant when she sang it, the truth is that love matters. And let's face it, love is a very important part of creation itself. So, talking about visualizing, have you ever seen at least a picture of Michelangelo's beautiful painting on the top of the Sistine Chapel in Rome? It shows, I guess it's really big, but the part that's most often copied and shown to people shows in an allegorical way the creation of Adam as an idealized man, kind of sleepy, kind of waking up, reaching his hand out towards a very classical depiction of God, not what we believe in, but how do you tell the story in pictures if you don't paint a picture? Anyway, so it shows this energetic old guy. So I imagine maybe Michelangelo was imagining himself. Energetic old guy reaching out towards this kind of sleeping, waking up Adam. And it's like their fingers are about to touch. Kind of the idea to depict the divine spark passing between them. So I think, you know, the whole picture to me is how would an artist as talented as Michelangelo paint and portray this idea of a divine spark? So that picture was painted, I don't know, over 5 centuries ago. Now, has anybody here ever seen the movie E.T., the children's movie? Well, much more recently. This movie, E.T., shows that cute, adorable little alien who is able to heal people with his finger, like a little spark coming out of his finger that made a healing, but it also created a bond or a psychic connection between the little boy and the little alien. So it wasn't that long ago. I don't think anyone really talks that way anymore, but it wasn't that long ago that people used the word spark or sparking to refer to that feeling of connection between two people. I mean, love has so many words and ideas that have been used to describe it. But think about it. How many of them refer to energy, light, warmth, this spark? And I know you've heard people say that each one of us has a divine spark within us, and I agree. But I believe, and we teach, it's not just a spark. Actually, each one of us is made completely of divine intelligence or spirit. Or let's call it love itself, because that is all there is. Yes, you have a body, but you are not a body. You are something else, something more. You are a spiritual being having a human intelligence. So I'm telling you that, but what do you think? Is it true? You know, you get to decide for yourself how you're going to see this thing called life. But I think that this idea of there being some kind of a spark that has something to do with love, healing, and creation is an idea worth thinking about. Personally, I believe that love has everything to do with everything, and that yes, love does make the world go round, and yes, it makes the sun to shine. But this is because what I believe is that life is actually love in expression. And then I'm going to talk about sparks a little more too. But let's just talk about this idea of love being the source of creation. The famous American transcendentalist, Ralph Waldo Emerson, said that love is our highest word, and that love is the synonym or has exactly the same meaning as the word God. This love, which you might want to think of as higher love, this love is not merely a feeling of affection or attraction or romantic interest, although those all are included, or empathy. But all these ideas and feelings are wonderful. This love that I'm talking about is not merely a personal emotion. No. What we need to do is take our ideas about what love is, that feeling that you have about love, and multiply it 1,000 million times until you begin to visualize love in all its vastness. Infinite, eternal, and then you will begin to see love as it is. Love is goodness itself. Love is beingness itself. If you look at the glossary in The Science of Mind, which was written by Ernest Holmes, who is really the originator of our science of mind philosophy, he gives this definition of love. It says, love is the self-givingness of the spirit. The self-givingness of the spirit through the desire of life to express itself in terms of creation. Love is free from condemnation and free from fear. Love is a cosmic force whose sweep is irresistible. Love is another word for God. Well, I think we could say that spirit is another word for God. Love is another word for God. Divine intelligence is another term for God. Creative mind is another term for God. And this thing called life is another term for God. The thing is, God is not a being out there somewhere supervising us. God is all there is. There's nothing else. That means, and this is important, there's nothing in opposition to God. There is no force for evil. There's no sin. There's just mistaken actions and beliefs by people who, yes, have the freedom. We have been created with this amazing freedom to think as we choose, to do what we choose, whether it's wise or not. But the backdrop to all of this everyday life is that there is only love, and it is life. It is love that sets life into motion. Spirit or love creates everything visible and invisible by becoming what it creates. Spirit or love makes everything out of itself, since itself is all there is. But it's never diminished by this activity of creation. It simply takes form and then takes a new form or another form through the activity of the creative process, which usually we describe as being similar to a seed falling into the soil and then growing, expressing as whatever plant. It's just a simple way to visualize what do we mean by the creative process. No, unless you've been here before, or unless you've studied metaphysics somewhere else, you might be struggling with some of the things that I am saying because they might be different than what you've heard before. But just remember, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. I'm just laying out a way to think about why things are the way they are, so that you could think about it for yourself. After all, each one of us is on our own individualized personal journey of discovery as we go along experiencing this thing called life. Ernest Holmes, once again, he said that he believed that all of us are on the pathway of an endless evolution, that the impulsion, the motivation, back of this evolution, this evolutionary journey, is a divinely created spark, which has impregnated each of us with a divinity that shapes our ends, rough hew them how we will. I know that last part was a quote from somewhere, but he didn't say where. I suppose it's a poem, I don't know who by. He said that every person is an incarnation of the one living spirit. And this one living spirit is undivided. indivisible, and must therefore remain a total unit whose circumference is nowhere, which at each and every point exists in completeness, in infinite, eternal completeness. So this might be hard to understand, but it's the truth. If life is a unity, if there's only one thing, if you can't divide it up, you can begin to understand how it is that everything can be created from it, as it, by it, and yet it, this thing we call love or spirit or the unity of life, universal mind, is never used up by its operation of becoming what we experience as life. Holmes says each point must exist as all that it is, that the infinite does not get fragmented into pieces. That's why we can say that each point in infinity is a center in infinity, because there's simply no limit, right? So that means every little point, every one of us, that's why we call our center a center for spiritual living. Every point is a center in this vastness that we can think of as infinity, if you can even visualize that. So anyway, I was meditating and thinking about the claim that love, this divine spark, is the creative energy of the universe. And I began to wonder if there would be any way to discover if that idea lines up with anything that we know from the field of science. After all, we like to call our teaching the science of mind, religious science. And we often explain here that we exist as spirit and in spirit in the same way as an ice cube exists in water. The ice cube is a temporary form of water. It's not all of water, but it has all of the properties of water. And when it is done being an ice cube, it reverts back to water. So as a child, I learned that water could be solid, like an ice cube, liquid, like a glass of water, or a gas, like a cloud. Same thing, same element, I guess, or anyway, same water in 3 different states or forms. But now I've learned something more. I have found out that water, and really everything, could become a 4th state of matter that's called plasma. Plasma is another state beyond solid, liquid, and gas. And I imagine there's some people in here who may know all about what plasma is, much more than I do. But maybe others of you are novices about the idea of plasma like me. So we know that water or any substance can form a gas. Then, if that gas can be superheated, heated so much that some of its electrons are freed from its atoms, that creates the state of matter called plasma. So lightning is a plasma. Stars are hot balls of plasma. And fluorescent lights have something like plasma in them. Plasma allows electric and magnetic current to flow through it. Originally, plasma, before it was actually proven to exist, was theorized to be what they called then radiant matter. In 1812, Michael Faraday, who I know he was really famous because I read that Albert Einstein kept his portrait on his wall. So he must have been very influential. I don't know much about electricity and magnetism, but that was his main field of study. So when he hypothesized it over 200 years ago, It was the theory. But now, today, it's known to be a fact. Yes, there is plasma. Not only is it, but 99% of the known matter in the universe is estimated to be plasma, while it's fairly rare here on Earth. In the whole universe, it's very common. It's stars. So, what does this idea have to do with us? We say that love, life, spirit, consciousness, God are all names for the same thing, and that this thing is creative and energetic. Energy. We say it has no beginning and it has no end. We say that this thing we call life, the spiritual something, is unchanging perfection in its essence, yet it is constantly creating while never being used up. I have explained many, many times, and you can decide if it's true or not. We say the way to visualize how it works is by visualizing that it operates in a manner similar to how natural laws work. So in nature, the scientists are saying that not only does this fourth state of form, plasma, exist, but it is a form in which light is created by the movement of photons and electrons leaving, going apart from each other, and then coming back together again. That's too complicated for me to explain. You can look it up on the internet, and they have great videos showing how it could happen. It's interesting. But this is the light that we see when we look at lightning. And you have felt it yourself if you've ever gotten a little shock from static electricity. And it's at work right now above us in these fluorescent lights. So Einstein taught that light is a form of energy. And it's been proven at this atomic level that matter can be generated by light beams colliding with each other. So what I wanted to share is that in the material world, a solid can move through these different forms to become plasma and even kick off a proton, which I guess doesn't have any matter at all. It's my understanding. Anyway, a solid can eventually become plasma, and this plasma can become energy or light, and then become matter again. So, if you're interested, finding out if what I'm saying is true or not, or finding out maybe more exactly how it works, you can look it up. But the fact is that even though scientists have created just the tiniest speck of matter, they actually were able to create matter in a laboratory experiment. Tiny speck of matter, but it has happened. So let's go back to, so what's love got to do with it? Does this sparking process in the material world have anything to do with what we call the divine spark or creation? So I would say we have a tendency to say, oh, what we see in the material world explains what's happening in what you might think of as a supernatural world. But I'd like to say, no, it's exactly the opposite. It's the other way around. Love, the divine spark, powers the universe. And so it would be more correct, in my mind, to say that the energy and light we find in the material world operates, of course, naturally, in harmony with the underlying reality of spirit itself. So that when we say spirit is all there is, and everything is made of the substance of spirit, does it become a little more believable that this could be true when you consider that already science has been able to, in a way, take apart matter and put it back together again? Can we see that there is this actual material process of forming and unforming and forming that takes place? So let's go back to Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes wrote that back of all manifestations, both visible and invisible, must be the desire to create, the urge to express. And this is called, he said, the divine urge. And he didn't make this up. This is a term that's been used in metaphysics for I don't know, I won't say forever, but for a very long time. Holmes said, this urge operating as law, which means according to natural laws, well, it is. It sets natural laws in motion. This urge, operating as law, produces energy. He said, desire gathers energy for creative purposes and utilizes power to express itself. So I just want, we're talking about energy. Each one of us is full of energy, right? You just hold your hands like an inch apart from each other and you will feel that energy which you are filled with. So I'm not totally off in outer space here. There is energy in this world. Now, Emerson, who was a predecessor of Ernest Holmes and a great inspiration to him, Ralph Waldo Emerson, besides saying that love is another word for God, he also wrote that love is omnipresent, everywhere present in nature as motive and reward. Motive and reward. Think of that as desire and expression. Think of that as cause and effect. Love is both the creator and the creation. In explaining the command in the Bible, love one another, that's attributed to Jesus in the Gospel of John, Ernest Holmes wrote this. He wrote, love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It's written that God is love and that we are its expressed likeness, the image of the eternal being or beingness, I like to say. Love is self-givingness through creation. Love is the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is the essence, an atmosphere, which defies analysis as does life itself. Love is that which is and cannot be explained. Love is common to all people, to all animal life, and it's evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love, Holmes wrote, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Love knows only love, a universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact that God is love and love is God. Words cannot express its depths or its meaning. So, we should love another, right? I mean, if love is everything, we ought to love one another, right? Not with a selfish love like, and it's good to be close to those who are close to you, but it's not about I love my family and my friends only. It is about being able to have a selfless love, more than love, higher love also. And it seems crazy that I have to even mention this, but it's true that, and it's surprising that lately there's been quite a lot of people who claim that in Christianity, you don't have to have empathy for the stranger, which is like, whoa, where did that come from? In fact, when I first heard that there's a denial of the validity of this feeling of empathy, I thought it could not be true. So I looked it up, and I guess it's happening. Some people just say that we should rank our love by how closely someone is related to us. Where I would say the opposite. I would say the love that we have for someone who's very close to us is how we learn about love. It's what allows us to learn and expand our horizons. The fact is that Jesus and his immediate family themselves were refugees who were hunted by people who wanted to harm them. It just doesn't make any sense to say that Jesus was only talking about his disciples and his followers when he said that we should love one another. In the Gospel of Luke, it relates that when a lawyer, this is good, that it was a lawyer who was questioning Jesus. Let's get to the bottom of this, right? That a lawyer asked Jesus what he, the lawyer, should do in order to inherit eternal life. And Jesus answered, you should love God with all your heart, all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your mind, and you should love your neighbor as yourself. So the lawyer asked Jesus, well, who's my neighbor? And Jesus replied with a story. He said that a certain man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho on a particularly dangerous stretch of road, and this man fell among robbers who stole everything and beat him and then took off, leaving him half dead on the side of the road. Then, by chance, a certain priest or rabbi, I don't know, was going along that way. And when he saw this poor guy on the side of the road, he walked over to the other side of the road and kept on going, passed him by. In the same way, another prosperous man walked by, and when he came to the place and saw him, he also walked over to the other side of the road and kept on going, passed him by. But then a certain Samaritan, and now I always think, that Samaritans were good because it's the story of the Good Samaritan. But back in the time that Jesus was teaching, Samaritans were kind of known as the enemy, the bad guys. They had been associated with the desecration of a temple, and they were not liked. So it was meaningful that in this parable, Jesus called the third man a Samaritan. He said the Samaritan, as he was traveling down the road, came upon the beaten man, and when he saw him, he was moved with compassion. He came to the man and bound up his wounds, pouring on oil and wine. I guess wine because like alcohol is a disinfectant, I don't know. He set the man on his own animal, maybe a donkey, I don't know, and brought him to an inn where he took care of him, and then on the next day, when the Samaritan had to leave, he gave the innkeeper 2 coins and said to the innkeeper, "Take care of him. Whatever you spend beyond this, I will repay you when I return." So Jesus said, "Now, which of these 3 men do you think seemed to be a neighbor to the man who fell upon the robbers?" Obviously, the one who showed mercy on him. And Jesus said to the lawyer, "Go and do likewise." So this is the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you wish done unto you. This parable, though, I think this parable is not saying that the Samaritan is your neighbor. Look on the Samaritan as your neighbor. This parable is saying, be the Samaritan. Be like the Samaritan. Be a good neighbor. This is love in action. So who else said something like this? Well, another very wise man, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers, who often sang, "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Please, won't you be my neighbor?" This is wisdom. This is love. Love matters, and so it is.
So it is.
Oh, let's hear from Tim.
To dream the impossible dream and to fight the unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow and to run where the brave dare not go, and to right the incredible wrong. And to love, hear it chase from afar,
Thank you, Tim. It's so nice to have you with us today. So this is our time for supporting the center financially, in addition to all the wonderful ways that the center is supported. So if you look inside your program, you'll see the title, Conscious Giving, down there, and there's a little saying. So please say it together with me. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is. And it's really true. And with that in mind, let's sing together.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Thank you, everyone. I just have a couple of announcements. You can always find out what's going on by going to our cslcarlsbad.org website and clicking on newsletter. And at the bottom, there's a link to our most recent newsletter. So if this is your first time visiting or you haven't visited in a while, just know you're so welcome. And we'd love to have you sign up for our weekly email, and also pick up a blue welcome packet if you would like. Please stay and join us for coffee and conversation after the service today. And as always, I want to remind everyone that you can request spiritual mind treatment today by placing your written request in the box in the lobby, or you can speak to me or Dr. Maddie or practitioner Larry. We're all available. All you have to do is basically tap us on the shoulder while we're having our coffee, because we won't feel interrupted. We'll feel blessed. We love to do treatment for people. I want to just announce, just those of you who don't know her, that we have Reverend Deb here today, who was a practitioner here and became a minister and has been off living in Mexico, and it's really nice to have you with us today. It's just great. We always ask for money, like that's the way to support our center, and it is. But I also want to maybe ask you if you have in mind some friend that you think might be interested in what we talk about here, why not invite them also to visit us some Sunday? Or if you have an idea about how to reach people, because I know what I do. I look on Facebook or Google when I want to find out things. But everyone has a different way of knowing what's going on in the community. So if you have any suggestions for outreach that you'd like to share with me, I would love to hear your ideas. And finally, I want to thank our volunteers. So Morgan's already left the room working on refreshments, but I want to thank her for officiating and doing that for us. I also want to thank Larry for the beautiful flowers and for stepping in as candlelighter at the last minute. And I want to, of course, thank Daryl and Johnny and Jim for their help with the recording, and whoever I forgot, Jessica and William, everyone. Bill for being our greeter today. So first time, thank you, Bill. And let's give everyone a hand. It takes a village. It's all about love. It's love in action, and I do appreciate it. So what I'd like to do next, as we close, is just give a short we'll see if it's short, spiritual mind treatment. Should I make that promise? Oh, probably. So I just invite you to relax and follow along to the degree that you choose as we remember and remind ourselves that this is a beautiful spiritual universe full of good. That good is the reality in which we live and have our being, and it's all there is. Each one of us is good in expression, love in expression, but amazingly, we have been set free. We have been set free to discover more about this life, to experience in its fullness, in its beauty, in its joy, and to make our own decisions, to make decisions which work out in a course like any student in any school. We may make some decisions that don't work out, but right now, in this very moment, we have the opportunity to make a new decision, to plant a new thought into consciousness, into our own consciousness, which is one with the greater consciousness that we call spirit. And decide that this day, this moment, we are setting into motion with our thoughts something new and wonderful. The life that we dream of becomes possible as we visualize it clearly and allow ourselves to say yes. Yes to having something true, something loving, something wise, something good, health, prosperity, wisdom, creative expression, and loving relationships. This is the good that life has in store for us. And I accept it on behalf of each and every person here today, on behalf of each and every person with whom we are connected, and with those people that they are connected with, and with those people they are connected with, and onward and outward, until I see the vastness of this beautiful thing called love in expression. I allow it to be so. I declare it to be so. I accept it as so. And I let go of the responsibility for making it so, because I know that spirit is in action. New forms are arising, beautiful, clear, majestic, and loving. This is the truth. I let go, I let God. And I invite you to join with me in acceptance by saying together, gratefully, and so it is. Thank you. So on the backs of your programs, if you want to stand up, we'll sing our closing song together.